Region, where Chinese Foreign Minister Wang has met with visiting Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. And now they are holding a news conference. Let's take a listen. Anniversary of China-Russia Treaty of Good-neighborliness and friendly cooperation. So let's listen what the two diplomats have to say.
And visiting Sergei Lavrov. Now first, the floor to Foreign Minister Wang. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Very glad to meet my old friend Sergei Lavrov from Russia here. And in Guilin, we enjoy the fame of being the best under the heaven, and we also right now also seeing that we also set a high level of our comprehensive strategic partnership of coordination for the new era. No matter how the world changed, our relationship will emerge even stronger and wider in all areas. Just now we had a deep exchanges in the larger scale, and yesterday evening we also had a long and in-depth conversation. So we exchanged our opinions in the international and regional issues of common concerns. We firmly believe that with the strategic guidance of the two heads of state set the directions. The President Xi and President Putin sees the trend and the momentum of the international situation. I believe that they laid a solid foundation and draw the blueprint for our relations going forward, and also injecting the new impetus in promoting our bilateral relations. Going forward, the two heads of states will keep the close interactions to discuss the development of two sides of the relationship and also resolve the issues on our way moving forward. The joint fight against the COVID-19 create another highlight of our relationship and also help us overcome the dark time and hardship of the pandemic. At a very difficult time, the two heads of state firmly established the community of health ties. I believe actually under this virus and also the political virus, we established a firm shield to protect our two sides. And we also bring the global community into our consideration, and we use the virus to further promote our endeavors in this regard. I believe that the work we have done in this regard will be won the approval of the global society and remembered in history. Last year, the bilateral ties record over the $100 million level for 3 consecutive years. For the first 2 months, it's also enjoyed a fast growth momentum. Talking about the nuclear projects and natural gas projects, also growing and also promote its progress in the set schedules. And we also signed the MOU on establishing the centers on the Luna. We believe we see the more momentum and also the potentials for further cooperation for both sides. The international cooperation, I believe that China and Russia actually promoted a positive energy to the global community as an anchor and a stabilizer. And today we also signed a joint statement in liberating human rights, international orders, multilateralism, and other key issues, reflecting international community, especially developing countries' demands. We hope all countries can be open and transparent to join and engage in international governance, and we should give up the zero-sum mentalities and to stop interfering in other countries' internal affairs, and also create and build a community of shared destiny for mankind. This year marks the signing of the 20th anniversary of the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and French cooperation between both sides. This also set a framework in legal perspective. The more chaos there is in the world, the more stable and also the friendship going on in China-Russia relationships should be, and we should also observe the elections from both sides to establish a new model of international relations and for the major countries. We already discussed the extension of this treaty and also carry forward the spirit of the treaty in order to build our new relationship in the new era and achieve new progress. We will do this in the 4 areas. First, regarding the issues concerning each other's core interests. We'll always firmly back each other and also work hand in hand. This is a true feature of our both relationship. The more instability there is in the world, we will firmly implement the guidance of the 2 heads of the states and also to firmly support each other to go with their development paths that fit in each other's state conditions. And second, we will resume the work, operation, and trade with the normal practice of the COVID-19 measures, and will also speed up the process of standardizing in PCR, and also we will also establish the common recognized green code and make sure we can work together to stop the infections across the border, make sure that we can conduct the impeded flow. And we also work in the areas such as the virus and the other matters in order to make contribution from both sides. And third, we would like to be the true friends of each other, and we will support each other to implementing the strategic projects. And also would like to take the opportunity of the year of the scientific innovation. I would like to create innovation-driven new light assets in order to widen our cooperations in different resources and also cultivate the new engines to grow our relationships. Fourth, regarding international affairs, we would like to safeguard the international justice and fairness. This year marks China's 50th anniversary back to the United Nations and also the 20th anniversary for China joining back to the WTO. Along our journey, we always know how important the multilateralism is. And China with Russia, we will also stay true to maintain the core position of the United Nations, uphold international fairness and justice underscored by the international law, and we also would like to see that the common values are shared and build a common community with a shared future for mankind. So in China, based on our normal practice, it means that the winter already gone. Right now, spring is everywhere. We have seen the lights at the end of the tunnel. We would like to work with Russia and also the international community to get away the black cloud over us caused by the COVID-19 and to win the future by mutually cooperation. Thank you very much. Now give the floor to the Russian Federation, Foreign Minister Lavrov. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad to visit this beautiful place. I believe this is incomplete places. Although it's a little bit raining, but nothing really impacts our good mood. We know Russia and China always cherish our long-lasting friendship. This time, we one more time emphasize our relationship. Although right now the COVID-19 is still rampant, but we conducted very effective cooperation, not at the bilateral level, but also in the international arena. We have set the priority for our cooperation, which jointly made by two heads of state. We will continue to emphasize and strengthen our comprehensive strategic partnerships of coordination. Because of the COVID-19, and we have some difficulties, but right now we have seen the things right now resumed. And we'll also release a joint statement further emphasizing our future cooperation. And this year marks the 20th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Good-neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation between China and Russia. We believe that our cooperation, of course, based on the equity, mutual trust, and we firmly oppose a zero-sum mentality and Cold War mentality, and also we do not want to see that use the way of opposing sanctions to other countries. We know China and Russia, or Russia and China, is the key pillar in international peace and stability. We firmly oppose the so-called alliance in the Cold War time. We firmly support the multi-pillar international landscape. We firmly uphold that the international governance should be based on the certain rules. And also would like to see more countries join us to support the existing global governance. We would also extend our cooperation on multiple platforms such as United Nations, Shanghai Cooperation, and also the BRICS. And also we would like to continue our cooperation under the East Asian framework. And we will also fully support the United Nations different summits. And also our initiative already when the endorsement from the President Xi, and we will also release more details in our joint statement. We also support human rights, and also we would like to see more good conversation going on regarding human rights. And more political settlement and communication were welcomed. And also I entrust my Vice Minister to work with the counterpart for more hands-on work. Once again, thank you for hospitality provided by our Chinese friends. Thank you very much, Lavrov. Now the floor is open for questions. The first question to CMG CCTV. Thank you very much. With CCTV, my question to the State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang. Right now we talk about that we would like to build a model of the relationship between major contribution, and there is a big difference between China and the United States. How, in your mind, to build this kind of a large country relationship? Thank you very much. I believe this question is the very highly relevant questions, and also showed your care and understanding about international affairs. I believe this is a question that should cause everyone's consideration, because right now we're facing different difficulties, especially in face of the once in a century difficulties, especially unprecedented global changes. It makes us to think about whether it's a communication or confrontation, solidarity, or separatism. This very much decides our future momentum. China, as a major country, we should show our responsibilities, not show the muscles or show our status or show our wider power. For major countries, it should mean that we should consider a greater good for the people and shoulder more responsibilities and also create more benefits. To be specific, we believe we should take the lead to speak about the equity and also follow the UN Charter. We should not seek the hegemony or everything for our own interests. We should also take the lead to set the credibility. We cannot just use our own standards to meddle in other countries' internal affairs or use the excuse of the human rights to interfere in other countries' internal affairs. We should also take the lead in multilateralism. We should not looking for the unilateral bullying or causing even confrontation. And we should also follow the laws, especially international laws. We should not use a blur standard to replace the common accepted international laws to create or draw the small circles. The China and Russia relations withstood the test and become the stabilizer of the international community, which demonstrates our two countries actually never target the third country. We always back each other's core interests. We always shoulder responsibilities and uphold the international system with the United Nations at its core, and also uphold the international laws. And China would like to call on everyone, and under the circumstances, that we should always follow the UN Charter, especially the hard-won international landscape after the World War II, and we should truly champion the multilateralism and also to really build the community with a shared future for mankind. The Russian news agency. Mr. Foreign Minister, my question is that was Russia's countermeasures against the Western domained payment system? Any cooperation with China in this regard? And what's the plan? Actually, we have already conducted a cooperation, not only at this field, but also across the board, especially the impeded information regarding the payment system, the central bank cooperation, and also would like to extend our cooperation in the financial sector. For China, Russia and China, over the years, we have tried to expand our cooperation in trade and is settled in our own currency. I believe this is also the requirement given by the time. We clearly understand that this should be the thing to be done. Because we are not satisfied with the whole landscape dominated by the Western countries. So step by step, we would like to expand our cooperation. We firmly oppose the sanctions. So we talk about like you force someone to do so, it dooms to be failed. So we would like to work more with the Chinese side. And anything that attempt to alienate our relations will come in vain. So we will continue our cooperation to further strengthen our cooperation and relationship.
CGTN 记者提问。
With CGTN.
好的，人，我是中央广播电视总台
Thank you very
中国国际
much.
电视台 CGTN 的记者。那我有一个问题。
Question from CGTN. My question to State Councilor and the Foreign Minister Wang and China right now provide vaccines to more than 10 countries, but still figure point in the figure to us to talk about the vaccine policy, and also Russia would like to enlarge its voice. So what's your take on this? Coronavirus actually is the common enemy to all. Vaccine and now is considered as the most effective weapon against the coronavirus, which should bring more benefits to the people around the globe. General Secretary Xi, President Xi already announced that the vaccines should be considered as a public good, especially the accessibility and affordability in the developing countries. We'll use our concrete moves to implement this commitment. We have actively participated in the COVAX and in the cooperation of the vaccine research and development, and also based on the requirement of each country. Right now, we have already provided or prepared to provide vaccines to the country in need. Right now, the more than 70 countries give us the requirement, and authorities would like to use our Chinese vaccines, which also widely recognize about the efficacy of the Chinese vaccines. According to our knowledge, the Russian vaccines also approved in more than 50 countries, and the more support going to the Russian vaccines. What we would like to see is from the production, the allocation, distribution of vaccines should see more cooperation among different countries, so make it a truly affordable, accessible public good for all countries, especially something that could be accessed by people. We would like to protect and also make a contribution for both sides to protect the people, especially their safety and health. We talk about whether this is the vaccine or the COVID-19 policy. Actually, we are doing something in terms of humanitarian. Some countries are either hoarding the vaccines or for its own interests. Instead, what we want to see is that we would like to share these benefits to people around the world so we can reach the end of the tunnel at an early date. China and Russia, we not just choose the way that just make ourselves looking good, we would like to see the whole world looking good. So some people shirk the blame or make it with the labeling of the policy or politicize the COVID-19. This is not win the recognition around the globe. Right now, with a larger rollout of the vaccination, we should be careful that some people may label the vaccination or stigmatize the vaccines. So we should fill in a gap in the nationalism of the vaccines. Please allow me to add, I firmly support what just now the Foreign Minister Wang just said. Because of the COVID-19, our two countries set a good example in our cooperation in this regard, and also our cooperation still continue. We also touch upon vaccination today in our discussion. And for Russia and China, we always keep quite close communication and interaction in vaccination. And President Vladimir Putin also called on meetings, emphasizing that Russia should put people's life before everything else. There's no political elements involved. We don't want to see any race or competition in this regard. So our partnership from Russia, from the European Union, actually also use our vaccines. So there's no any vaccine policy.
Спасибо большое. У меня вопрос Сергею Викторовичу Лаврову. Здесь уже упоминалась проблема санкций. Китай и Россия находятся.
So, Mr. Foreign Minister, talk about the sanctions. That's not just targeting China, but also targeting Russia, as led by Russia, led by United States and its allies. So, what's the countermeasures we would like to take? The tension between Russia, China, and the Western world, how long that will be lost. About the sanctions and countermeasures. Actually, China and Russia are under these kind of the sanctions, and our position is very clear. We firmly oppose sanctions. And we would like to work together against the sanctions, and in the relevant documents released, we'll also elaborate in more details. And this year, we would like to also take the opportunity of the 20th anniversary of the treaty. We would like to work together with other countries to strengthen the cooperation, coping with the Western countries' moves. And we will also compile a report to oppose the sanctions. The United States, European countries already put aside the original diplomatic relations, and they also force other countries to go with them. And this is something called rules they created. As you know, our cooperation between both sides not to target any other countries, and we have vast room for further cooperation, especially in the Central Asia. Europe is our neighbor, and also would like to see more cooperation happened. I would like to see that there is no damage to the established international systems, and also would like to see the good momentum with the relationship with Japan. Of course, our cooperation relationship with China and with European Union is very different. What we would like to do is we would like to widen the differences with European Union. And the same, we would like the European Union to seize the right momentum and get the correct picture of our cooperation, and that the cooperation should also build on the mutual trust and respect. We could see that our cooperation actually with China is quite rich. Actually, I already elaborated China's position. Any unilateral sanctions actually is not on the ground of international law. Especially, we talk about these 2 days, the sanctions was imposed by the European Union, and this is something actually damage the international law. According to our knowledge, actually within the European Union, and there is no one voice. A move actually just fulfill the certain countries' interests, but that will not endorsed by the international community, especially something based on lies. This should not be acceptable. I believe every country should stand out and voice their support. Based on lies, and you impose the sanctions on countries with sovereignty, and they back to the jungle games. So who has a stronger power, the more muscles on their arms, who will be the winner? Actually, this is not something we would like to see in the international arena. I believe every country should stand out and oppose any types or manifestation of unilateral sanctions. Thank you. And this marked the end of the joint presser. Thank you.
And that was a joint press conference given by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and both stressed the importance of a very healthy and good bilateral relationship, and also the meaningful contribution that this kind of friendship is giving to the already unstable world right now. And both also stressed the joint fight against COVID-19 between the two countries. And Wang Yi also mentioned that China and Russia has the joint will of safeguarding world fairness and justice, and no countries should meddle in other countries' internal affairs. And Lavrov stressed that no unilateral sanctions should be encouraged, and also he also stressed multipolar international landscapes such as UN, SCO and BRICS organizations should be encouraged on the international community. Well, we'll give you more information on their joint press conference. Now, for more discussion on what they released at the press conference, let's talk